If you could run your own game store, what would it be like? Imagine you wake up one day and decide to open your own game store. What does the place look like? What kind of events and games would you have? Who would you ban?
I think I know.
James.
Oh, okay. Alright, okay.
How many parties would you write off as business expense? Are there any weirdly specific rules you'd have?
Honestly, see with game stores, no one's going to become rich by opening one. It's so sad, but it's true. You're never going to make money, like big money, opening one of these sort of stores are from a place of love.
Yeah.
Which is great to see. Anyone that I know that's
it's all love for games and love for the community.
Yeah, and honestly, all the guys that I've known that have opened game stores, I think they all have done a great job.
Yeah.
Sadly, not all of them have been successful.
Yeah. I'd make it a brewery.
I love the way you can't say it, of all the things.
I'd make it a brewery as well and have separate themed rooms.
I do love that idea of separate rooms. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I would go more into... The problem is, like, okay, adding drinks sounds fun and all. Maybe this would be a good way to get rid of all the kids.
Yeah.
There's one thing that really does me in, is going to a game store and then it's all like... Am I old, guys?
Yeah.
And all the kids are going about buying Pokemon cards, and I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus, what have I done? Sometimes I do feel like that, but, it's nice to see them. At least the kids are enjoying themselves. Yeah. But, honestly, we used to have a game store that was in the back of a bar, and it was dangerous, let me tell you that. That was fucking... I had to get... Because it was way down the countryside, and I had to get Megan to pick me up. And it was like a 45-minute drive. So it was.
He was steaming.
Every time I went down.
I was like, so hard to get him. Go, mate, I don't know.
We got about to turn 4 or so, and it's like, fuck.
They all just started drinking. I was like,
it was great fun. And then the other one, you were allowed to drink.
You were allowed to bring your own drink.
But of course, you can't just whip out like a 6-pack. You have to do it discreetly. But they were
bring a water bottle and fill it with drink type of thing.
Like they were perfectly cool with it and they didn't mind it, but you can't get like shit faced, of course, and you can't.
Well, that's what they said.
Yeah.
I'd have it have 3 levels. B1, play space. Large enough for 50 plus people at once for the free/organised play of any system or game I sell. However, 3 inconspicuous doors are storage mostly, but past those is a second, secret playroom that can only be used in planned theatrical tabletop role-playing games. Set dressing and decorations available.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Yeah. I like that. I think that's really nice.
F1. An open space, but typically triple divided by shelves and bookcases. Card games and checkout for up front. Tabletop role-playing games in the next nook. War games in the back. Maybe 2 10-foot tables in each section for pickup games outside of organised hours. F2. An honest-to-God tavern. Get Rainfurrest people in there. Have a baking oven and rotisserie on fire cooking pits.
Perfect. That's a really good idea.
Sell a consistent, hearty menu that plays into the local palate. Stew, roast chicken, fresh bread and cake. And of course a hearty selection of ale, mead and iced wine. That
does set a lovely tone.
Yeah.
I actually think that's really cool. I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do feel like I love the idea of adding a restaurant of sorts and making it more like, but then again...
not even a restaurant, just a cafe where you can get like...
Sandwiches,
soup, stew.
Yeah. But again, are you going to end up making the equivalent of like a Chuck E. Cheese?
But
that's what I'd be worried about.
That's the thing. You're going to have to put out low-cost food because it's not going to be like a high foot traffic type of business, So you're going to have to be able to put out low-cost food.
Yeah.
To be able to keep up with the prices that you're getting in.
I suppose that's a problem. Like, people get what they pay for. It would need to be like Weatherspoon's quality food.
Yeah, like...
I think Weatherspoon's quality is alright. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good price point, but you're not buying anything amazing.
No.
I
would host a massive Warhammer and Magic the Gathering event. Then lock the doors when full and burn the store down for insurance money to buy non-cancerous board games.
Dangerously, please. Please don't do this.
Please don't.
No, this is not sound legal advice.
Large store. You have a corner near the entrance that's your bog standard snack stand like you'd find at a bowling alley, where you can get shitty snack food like peaches are nice, pizzas, nachos, etc. Big sign that says, we aren't liable for any minis or sheets or books that get damaged by our food you bought and ate at the table. But you're responsible for damaging any product that you didn't pay for and will have to pay for it. Obviously, we'll have a few tables for pure dining between games. Nothing too fancy, just comfortable enough to not suck to sit at like a school cafeteria. Most of the store will be gaming tables. One with sections set up for larger wargame style games and another for more modest tabletop role-playing games, where you don't have a massive terrain. These can be rented out, with the first 4 hours being the same rate and additional time for a fixed fee per hour over the limit. Then there's the actual store, with a stock of books, dice, minis, and a small section dedicated to stuff like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, you can spend a few bucks to borrow a book if you play at the table. To ensure that no theft occurs, your keys are taken at the entrance to the player area, and you have to show your ID and register the name on that ID with the attendant. We'd also have monthly giveaways on cheap stuff like card sleeves or cheap dice sets or something people can enter by purchasing something from the store or renting a table for at least 4 hours. Also, you can't rent a table unless you have a party of at least 2 people and are going to play a game. If the attendants spot you shooting the shit and not playing a game, they're allowed to tell you to leave. If you aren't going to use the play area for its purpose, give it to someone who will.
I feel like there's a story behind that last post there.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like there's a story that we don't know about.
I feel like there's a story behind a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like somebody stole his shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like,
I feel like he's given sound ideas and sound advice, though.
It's all reasonable stuff.
Yeah, it is all reasonable stuff. Like, I've got a few ideas for myself, like how I do my perfect one. For me, I think definitely, like, this is imaginary stuff. What I want to do is I want to do something that isn't going to make anyone any money. This is pure nerd heaven in my eyes. This is a story that will never exist because
financially
it just if I've ever become a crypto billionaire, it will exist though. How does that sound? Okay, I can finance myself and not actually care. So first thing I would have is I would have lots and lots of tables. I would have the decor to be absolutely lovely. I would have it, again, you could rent out whatever books you wanted. I would also want there to be a massive selection of painted models. Be that for, like, you know, say someone wants to, I would love to have a go at an orc army. Mm-hmm. You have all the models for an orc army sitting there and you just pay a fixed fee to pay. Of maybe, okay, I want a 500 point army, that's a tenner. Yeah. You know what I mean? A 3,000 point or 2,000 point army, that's 30 quid. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's how much it costs for you to rent that for an X amount of time. And I would have that for everything. Like, I would have that for all, like, D&D stuff, Pathfinder, whatever. I would have models, like, lovely painted models. I think I would have a dedicated guy working there that would just be a dedicated painter, and he would also do painting lessons on the side. Yeah. So he would be, but that would be his full-time job. Yeah. That's what I would love. I just want perfect, lovely terrain, lovely models, and an unlimited stack of just, again, paid for DMs. I would definitely invest in good DMs, not shit people that just, like, show up like,
but also tables for people who have their own groups to go play.
Of course.
Like, they don't have to play with the DMs that are provided.
Yeah, but I would have that. I would then also, I would want it to be a bit more family orientated as well. I do love the idea of having maybe a restaurant connected to it in some way, shape or form, and the restaurant, like, you know, see, for even people that aren't really into board games, give them, like, a game in Monopoly they can play.
Yeah, Monopoly or like
Cluedo, or, you know, like,
stuff like
something that anyone can get into, that type of shit. Like, anyone.
Mousetrap.
Yeah, exactly. All that type of stuff. Yeah. That's what I would really love. Yeah. And, like, you know, if they enjoy it, if they're more curious, then they can move on into the main part. Yeah. You know, I would have that as, like, a side thing.
I would definitely have separate rooms for maybe some tabletop games.
Yeah.
Or for
I would have a wargaming room and a.
Because some D&D games can get quite loud.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're role playing.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would also like another floor to where it's just like a hangout spot.
Also, pool tables.
Yeah, it's just like a hangout spot for people to come who have similar interests to go and hang out.
I would also, the way I would
maybe put a Switch in, put a couple of
put it in
PlayStation,
put a big LAN party in. Who doesn't want to play a bit of Counter-Strike, that type of shit. I would also do it as a subscription service. So say, like, okay, this would have to be very expensive. It would probably have to be like 50. It would be like a golf club membership. Essentially, probably it would cost more than a golf club membership to get into this place, because I want it to be like,
only elite nerds.
only the most dedicated nerds can get in. And even with the membership, you probably would still need to pay for space.
Certain things,
But I would do everything over the top, like everything as high end as humanly possible, and everything could be available to you when you get there, but you would have to rent it out.
Yeah.
That's what I would like.
Yeah.
I think we'll keep going in the thread, and then in the end we'll do our
worst.
Also deodorant would be sold, and it would be, you know,
and showers in the back.
No, you know what it would be? So people would walk in, right, and it would be like a decontamination zone you see in like movies, and like it's like we need to be cleaned, and everyone gets like spray of fucking deodorant
and aftershave.
Yes, as they walk in, it's like a tent thing. They walk in, do it, and then walk back out. You know, there we go. That would be perfect. I think that's.
And before you're allowed in, you have to go through like a spurg test.
Oh,
they put you through rigorous testing to see how quickly you spurg out.
That means I wouldn't even be allowed in.
No!
No! Denied in my own power fantasy.
Psst. Hey, lean in closer. This is fucking ASMR channel now. You know it's pretty fucking based. Titties. Go see titties. Lots of titties.
All the titties.
Go over to the website, check out all the models. You guys know the score. We have some really nice looking models over there. And we have a lot of...
It's sci-fi gothic?
Yeah.
Let's call them sci-fi gothic.
And if models isn't your shit, we have loads of subclasses, and we keep adding them every other week or so. We add a lot.
We got a lot.
Look, we've got big brains. We add shit. But yes, go over to the website, check out everything. If you haven't subscribed, what the fuck you doing? Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell as well, and let's get back to the video. Every week we're going to be doing a giveaway of the new pinup model of the month, or if models isn't your thing, all of our homebrew content. If you want to be in with a chance to win the giveaway, all you need to do is subscribe. That's it. Hit the subscribe button. That's it.
Do it now.
But last week's winner was this guy. Well done! Yay! Round of applause. Everybody stands up and claps. But enough of that. Let's get back to the video. Divide the store into two very separate areas, and virtually soundproof areas like front and back, or even different buildings. Front is small and all retail and has some demo space to introduce games to moms and kids, and the back is the gaming space for the kids with no place else to go, aka the den.
Send them to the lounge.
I have one employee, and we split the work between running the store and supervising the den, and we low-key alert each other when problems are coming. Like a stinky boy is coming to the front while some mum is trying to buy a Christmas gift so we can run over and try to distract her with salesmanship. The den has to be really industrial, like a former garage, so we can just hose it down and not have to waste lots of time and money cleaning it.
What the fuck is this?
Furniture and all that is minimum. I'm thinking like tables only. Bring your own folding chairs or sit on the floor.
That sounds horrible.
Minors need their parents' phone numbers to hang out in the den, and if is that meant to be?
Yeah.
And if they do something bad, I send their parents a form text message. I recruit some volunteers, 18 or older people from the denizens, to be counsellors and police themselves, just to look out for people stealing from each other and fighting and drugs, whatever other mischief. But otherwise, just let them do whatever.
Are you already thinking this in your idea of the perfect game store? Oh yeah, it's already turned into a crackdown.
Yeah, he's already thinking this.
It's already turned into a crackdown.
I'd probably make the walls of the den chalkboard.
Oh, good.
And then sell really cheap chalk. Then people could write and doodle all over the walls. There's no point in having one without the other. The denizens are half the customer's base, but obviously they also scare off the normies, so they need to get in the bag.
What the fuck is this?
Why Is his one already fucking down the drain?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, this is a strange one, guys. If I be straight up with you, this does not sound like a fun game store at all. This sounds like you've literally made a crackdown out the back. You've literally got a shop, and then out the back you've got a crackdown, and you've already called it the Den. I thought when you called it the Den, it was going to be like cool. I thought it would be like
sofas,
you know,
games and stuff like that.
Yeah, everything is set out kind of nicely, you know.
Not like...
No, this is going to be chalk, it's going to be Den, we're going to... I'm literally just going to park.
There's just one massive spotlight in the room.
Yeah. No, and it flickers. It flickers. We have a really flickering light. Yeah, and there's a guy in the back that talks to himself. There's a guy that's like, really just...
There's a guy who just sits in the back and shuffles his Magic the Gathering cards.
I don't know, and then there's another guy who he's got too far into Call of Cthulhu, and he's sweet man-made horrors beyond my comprehension.
He's just in the corner like drawing all these symbols on the fucking walls.
Yeah, this one doesn't sound like a good idea.
No,
this sounds actually pretty cursed.
And you know fine rightly them chocolates are going to be covered in cock.
Yeah.
Covered in cock.
Yeah, I can imagine some
detailed cock and shit.
Imagine some woman with her child walks on and it's like, oh, this looks lovely. You're into all the Pokemon cards.
Let's go have a look.
And then they go in. Like, oh my god, what have I stumbled across?
The smell you open up, it's like a suction.
Yeah.
I don't visit these kinds of stores often because wage slave, but I do work in luxury retail. Chanel, if you're wondering. Sydney a few years back had this awesome Korean board game cafe. Fucking loved it. One big open surface for most general seating, but it had other rooms which were around the corner and could be curtained off if you want more private setting. It was pretty cool if you're there for a short time playing Jenga or Uno with a group, or if you're there for longer periods of time, shit like Monopoly, Catan, Risk. But for me personally, I'd love a bigger version of this. Maybe more rooms of various sizes that could be closed off, host events for particular games. I see a lot of Magic the Gathering / Yu-Gi-Oh! And some other weeb shit card games quite popular at Good Games Sydney / Anime Kaika.
God, those weeb words.
A room of just fold out tables for them. D&D rooms or in open space, obviously with terrain pieces they can borrow. Warhammer 2. And even allow armies which have 3D printed parts or custom proxies from 3D print parties.
Yeah, well that's expected from anywhere that's not a Games Workshop shop, essentially.
While I sit at the coffee machine making fucking coffee and Korean bingsu for everyone who orders it. Will I sell merch? I'd have to if I want to float. Hell, I would have made a private event for HeroQuest during the after hours of store trading time for its release, and invite customers who had interest, like we do in luxury retail scene. It creates a scene for people to try and buy the game. Being a big mecha fan, I get games like Mech Warrior and Heavy Gear in too. No Funko Pops, they can fuck off.
Yeah, Funko Pops can get the fuck out.
That's all I can think of right now.
I love that idea for the HeroQuest one. Also, I'm still waiting on my fucking copy of HeroQuest. Originally, I ordered it through Amazon, but then a couple days before it was to go in, I noticed, oh wait, the money didn't leave, and I saw my local game store was have stock of it, so I was like, yeah, sure, put me down on the list. I still haven't got my fucking copy yet, guys.
And I seen it yesterday.
She saw it yesterday and fucking...
I was like, well, do you want me to get it for you? And he's like, no, I'm already going.
I already asked him. He says he'll ring me whenever it's fucking in. Okay, so I think a lot of those had really good ideas. The one, I think... Someone did bring up a point about the restaurant being probably not a good idea. It sounds like a good idea, but it's probably not a good idea. Like, we've all seen enough episodes of Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares to know that it probably will end up in the shitter. And let's be serious, it would be. Unless you went for like a little heavy theme with it, but even then, fine, like, it would only be the fucking nerds that you get in the door anyway, so...
I did see, we didn't read it, but I did see a comment, somebody saying maybe sharing like the parking lot or out back or something with a food truck.
Oh yeah, that would be a really good idea, a good way. The problem is I don't know how to do this. Are we doing this in the idea of money doesn't matter, or does it have to be a realistic way of running one?
I don't know.
It's a bit of a mix. Let's make the worst one possible though, guys. So first of all, we need to have rats. the building needs to be condemned, and the building needs to be full of like cockroaches, ants,
and the floor is just
sticky.
It's sticky, but it's only concrete, and there's random stains throughout.
Random stains throughout. If they don't have enough tables, or they don't have enough chairs, and if you do finally get a chair, it locks all the time.
Yeah, and the table tilts
as well.
It's never fucking, and it doesn't matter how much cardboard you put underneath it.
Yeah,
it still tilts.
Oh, and also they do have some books that you can use. Like, they've got a few like player handbooks for D&D or whatever.
But they're all sticky.
No, they're not even just sticky. They've also got 1 or 2 pages removed. Yeah. Just random.
The toilet in the back is just one small toilet. There's no sink, so everybody's walking about with shitty hands. And also, the handle, there's no handle on the door, so it's just an open hole in the door. And it's right, and it's right beside the D&D table. So everybody who's role-playing, they really get immersed in the tavern style because all they smell is shit.
What else would be a horrible way of going? Oh, the store owners are absolutely horrible. Like, genuinely horrible. Like, they just scream at wee kids and shit. And like, they just kick people out randomly.
And also, if you don't play 5th edition, then you can't play.
Only 5th edition is allowed, and official Games Workshop stuff. And the only models you're allowed to use is if you have a receipt of buying them from that shop. Also, there is one single computer. I'm going to imagine it's like a Windows 95.
But the control key's missing. There's
a lot of keys missing on the keyboard, and there's always some neckbeard looking at porn with the volume up full.
But it's not just it's hentai porn.
Or worse. Police come from time to time. What else would make this horrible?
Once again, there is a strobe light.
There's a strobe light, so there is, but it isn't always on. And you don't know, it just randomly goes off from time to time.
In the corner is where the weebs hang out.
The weebs and the goths.
The weebs and the goths is where in the corner, and it has like obviously Magic the Gathering because all weebs play Magic the Gathering, and they're in the corner. But there's also a kids karaoke machine in the corner.
Oh yeah, with Baby Shark.
No, and they just sing random Japanese
K-pop. K-pop
all the time.
That's
or like
all
random Japanese songs from like different anime. Constantly, but nobody can hold a tune.
And everyone tries to join in.
And it's not even like a good mic, it's one of those kids mics that like
also
are really fucking echoey.
Karaoke machine. Oh, perfect. What else would make this even worse? So it smells bad, the staff are horrible. Nothing is really equipped very well. Oh, for some reason, someone found a thumb in a tin of Coke out of the vending machine somehow. Even the vending machine's cursed somehow.
And there's a guy in the corner called Matt.
I know.
No, not even like. There's a guy who sits on the sofas in like the communal area called Matt.
And why Matt?
It's just because that's his name. And he sits there and. But right beside him is like the retail section of the store with like the tubes of dice. But he sucks them.
Okay, I've got one word, and I'm using this from someone that I actually know. So there's a guy that paints, right? And he thinks himself as an amazing. And there's this guy, right? And he's like an amazing painter. So he is. And he likes to.
He thinks he's an amazing painter.
So he's an amazing painter. So he is, and he'll actively go up to random people and just be like, I could paint this better than you. Just so you know, he has to be hyper condescending. He doesn't have to be wearing a fedora all the time, but the fedora is his personality.
He doesn't wear a fedora, but his personality's fedora.
And
his name's Rick.
Well, I don't want to talk too much more about him. I mean, he is a bit of a dick, like, you know. Bit of a dick. He's a fucking cocksucker.
But yeah.
Okay, well, I don't really want to go much more after that.
And you know how whenever you walk into your store and there's like a little bell whenever you open the door?
Yeah.
Whenever you walk in, it just goes, hiya!
Yes!
Or it just goes, ah!
That, and also the only people that are allowed into this store is if you've been banned from another store. That's the criteria to enter this one.
Yeah.
There's gonna...
And all the seats have ball sweat stains.
Yes. Is there anything else you can... you know what? They've got a furry competition once a month.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got like a fur
best costume.
Yeah, Rainfurrest tier shit.
And they sell nappies in the corner.
Yes. Oh, you know what? To make this even worse,
they sell furry diapers.
Okay, I've got the best idea. Now this is going to be the most.
And they sell tails behind the counter.
Yeah, Bob Plug tails, of course.
Yeah.
Now to top it off, now this is the last bit. So, there's only two. You walk in, and there's only two other doors. As we all know, they only sell Funko Pops, and that is it. One door is to the one wee tiny bathroom. The other is like a staircase going up, and it brings you to what looks like a crackden's bed for the erotic role players. And I mean, like, it's gonna everything's just horrible.
And just to top it off.
Oh, and there's a hole in the ceiling, so you can hear everything as well.
Yeah. But just to top it all off, the end of the video, slap bang in the middle of the room.
There's a little Nurgle himself has spawned.
Yeah, but slap bang in the middle of the room, there's a wargaming table, and at that wargaming table, there's one guy who constantly at the top of his lungs shouts "wag."
Right, we're gonna end it there, guys. If you guys can top our horrible. Worst game story you can imagine. I'd be my fucking guess. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end it. I think there's a few things we could add, but I think we've created a good impression. Also, Seal 25% off.
Yes, go on. You Seal 25 at checkout. Spice up your gaming table. Go on, head on over, and while you're going down there to check out the links, hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Moments lost in time.